So Ekster has two different types of wallets. There's the Parliament and there's the Cardholder. There's also the Senate, which is very similar to the Cardholder, but we're going to be talking about these two today and exactly what the difference is and which one you probably should get. Now, as a heads up, Ekster did gift both of these wallets to me somewhat recently, and then they also gifted me the carbon fiber version quite a while ago, which I used extensively, so I do have pretty good experience with their wallets. And one thing I was never quite sure on is exactly what the difference was between the Cardholder and the Parliament version, and so now I've finally had a chance to really check them out, so I want to let you know the real differences. So in this video, much like my other comparison videos, I'm going to go through 6 categories of different aspects of wallets and what they should have to let you know exactly which one is better at different things, so you can decide for yourself if the Cardholder or the Parliament is better for you. But before we get into those categories, I do want to talk about the differences between these two wallets, and let's start off with the aluminum version. So this is the aluminum version. This is their graphite color. It looks really nice. It is aluminum build. It looks great. It has this kind of elastic style strap that goes all the way around, which holds a plate that is RFID blocking right here. So you put your extra cards right here that you don't use very often. And then of course it does have the defining characteristic of the card holder of this button right here that you push, and it fans the cards out like that, so you have easy access to up to 6 cards there. With this back plate, you supposedly can handle up to 12 cards, which I found to be pretty accurate. Now moving over to the Parliament, you can see it essentially is the card holder on the inside. I don't know how well you can see that, but basically that is essentially a aluminum card holder right there. I think the inside is actually plastic, so it's not aluminum, but it's built the same. Then you have a leather outer to kind of make it feel like a more standard wallet that most people are used to. And so what I think they're trying to do is move people over that like leather wallets over to the Parliament. And if there's people that really want to switch over to an aluminum wallet, they're moving them over to, well, their aluminum version. What you do forego is with the Parliament, you have this leather outer, but you don't have that back plate like you have right here. So it's going to be more of a leather feel. You can put cards in right here, and then you can kind of put cash and stuff like that in here, but you can also put cash in the cash strap right here. It's all pretty simple. So let's go ahead and move into the different categories and which one does better at which. So the first category is build quality, and both of them are about the same. It is from the same manufacturer. However, I might put the build quality a little bit better on this aluminum one just because it is built out of aluminum, and it appears that the card holder portion of the Parliament is made of plastic, so I am a little bit worried about that. However, it is caged in with kind of this hard leather, and so you might not be seeing as much impact to it. So as for build quality, I put them around the same. Now the sizing of the two wallets is where I start to kind of be drawn one way than the other. The Parliament is considerably larger. As you can see right here, the aluminum card holder is considerably smaller. And mind you, there literally is only one card in this Parliament right now. And the Parliament is just much thicker, and that's just really coming down to that leather wrap, and unfortunately it makes it much bigger. And it even gets worse when you start putting more cards into this outer sleeve, and then like say you put some cash in it, you start to run into really what normal wallets have issues with. You can see right here, it just gets really big, which is kind of weird. And I'm not a huge fan of it. I notice it really quickly gets large. Even when you squish it in as much as possible, you can see it is still a large wallet. So when you compare it over to something like this Ekster aluminum, the aluminum is obviously smaller. I mean, you can even see when I shove, let's see, how many cards is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 extra cards. And you can see with 7 cards, it still is considerably smaller. So when it comes to sizing, the aluminum definitely wins out. Now moving on to pricing, I actually have these as a tie because as of the recording this video, both are on sale at about $67, and they both are normally around, I think it's $89. So they're both around the same price. So regardless of which one you get, you're gonna be spending around the same amount of money. Of course, the card holder does come in a bunch of different versions, including like this carbon fiber and stuff like that. So it does get more expensive, but the base price is around the same. Now we get into styling, and I have to say that is where the Parliament wins out for me. The Parliament looks really, really nice. It actually is really nice. I think it's faux leather, but the quality is really, really there for the leather. I'm sure this is going to age really well and look really nice for a long period of time. And you just can't get around the soft leather kind of feel of these wallets, which is why my Bellroy card sleeve is actually one of my favorite wallets, just because of that soft leather feel. And so when it comes down to styling, I do think the Parliament does win out, and that's pretty much one of the only ones. And then the sixth and final category of this list is daily usability. Again, it's the card holder. The card holder just does a better job. It kind of is a little bit more hidden in your pocket. It kind of just fits in there a lot better, and you just don't notice it. However, just due to the bulk of this extra leather, the Parliament just isn't a minimalist wallet anymore, which is really what Ekster is going for. And unfortunately, the Parliament is just not a great representation of that. You definitely feel it in your pocket because it is still rigid, because the card holder in there is still rigid. So you feel it in your pocket, and it's just really, really big, and I'm just not a huge fan of that. So honestly, moving on to which one I recommend you get, I'd say the card holder pretty easily, handily wins that category for me. I would recommend you get the card holder, especially considering it's the same price. So obviously they sell both of these wallets, so there's a market for both of them. Am I wrong? Leave it in the comments. And of course, if you guys want to purchase one of these, I am going to leave paid links down in the description, as well as the top comment, so you guys can get one for yourself. I do get a commission from it if you guys decide to purchase whichever one you decide to get. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments, and make sure to subscribe if you like videos like this and like it to help me out in the algorithm.